Good evening. Oh, how I've longed to say that in an intro. But that's not my place. Nico?
Good evening, everybody.
Oh, that's much better. Much better. Hello, I am GM Jeff, your host, and will be narrating Reslargo, a certain NPC from, you guessed it, the Pathfinder 1st Edition Adventure Path, the Hellfire Compact, Book 1 from the AP Hell's Vengeance. When last we left our heroes... When last we left the players and one NPC, shit was going down, and I mean this in the funniest way possible. But first, introductions. Joining us tonight? Yes, introductions are in order. Above me, if you're watching as opposed to listening, you will see one Alex Tamlin playing Simri Stalish, an NPC from the book and quite valuable to the players at this point. Above her, the panel on the top left, we have Matt Witt is in the house tonight playing one Nikolai Barishnikov? Or you Barishnikov?
Anatoly. Nikolai Anatoly.
Apologies, Nikolai Anatoly of Ustalov, the Damphir Oracle. Beside him, with an education from the university. Now, were you educated here in Cheliax, or was the academy also in Ustalov, Professor?
No, it was Igorian.
Apologies. Professor Niles Cronin, played by Ryan Messina, is with us this evening. Jumping, an unfamiliar face, though you might know him, a little small on the screen. Would you mind leaning in and showing us your evil side, Mr. Gibson? Mr. Joe Gibson is muted because he's not allowed to play until we're ready for him, so we'll just skip on past. Larger than life on your screen as well as in character, Mr. Frank Hamilton will be playing Garion the Butcher, a half-giant barbarian with a dislike for the canine four-legged creatures so far.
No, I like dogs. They're tasty.
Do you now? So, gentlemen and lady, to paint the scene, I believe, if I was not mistaken earlier, that the proverbial shit had hit the fan, and I do mean quite literally. You see, our players had encountered the night crew, two elderly workers of the tannery, which had returned from their evening collection of clay chamber pots. Our Damphir, dropping a bit of a veil, fog, a 5-foot radius smokescreen to cover their tracks, has retreated towards the office and the gap within the palisade to which they had squeezed themselves silently, if not efficiently, through. And then 1, 2, smash upon delightful anarchy smash had, I don't know, shall we say, breached the veil, and adding to the already horrid stench of chemicals and dung, fresh human waste splattering a mere 10 feet, 5 feet from your position, I believe we shall have to return to combat. Now, where were we? Yes. Round 4, and Nikolai Anatoly had just retreated after dropping his spell. Round 5, Professor Niles Cronin. What do you do?
I find myself on the far side of the smoke cloud left over by the tool shed. I think it might be best if I secrete myself over by these bats. Did I notice any lanterns or torch sconces nearby in my scouting?
Only the candle that lit the window, I'm afraid.
I have to use a bit of my own fuel then. If that's the scenario, then I will retire temporarily to the tool shed from whence I came from.
Very well. Next up, we have Garion, the Butcher. Coming out of your rage, I believe. How long did your rage actually last, sir?
1 round.
And
I
what
just
are you doing
raged long
doing
enough to
now?
shot that guy that shot me with a crossbow. Well, now I've got a dog on me. Mm.
A Taldian Spaniel, yes.
Not for long. Maybe.
What do you
Does
do?
a 13 hit the dog?
Oh, have you ever, well, I was going to say encountered a spaniel before, but I suppose yes, just barely.
Just barely. Let's do a little bit of damage to it then.
What have you got?
8 points.
8 points.
8 points of damage.
Cleaving more than just a little bit of fur coming straight down on this poor, well, I'd like to say defenseless, but the thing is rather vicious. Coming straight down upon it, it shrieks in agony and then just bites harder as a retaliation.
Bastard dog.
Next we have Simri.
Well, I see 2 maimed dogs and a brute standing over them and another dead man. Then I see a chest.
That's true.
Ah.
Eyes on the prize.
Strolling over, I say, "Good job, Garion. Now, if you don't mind, could you come over here and possibly help me?" And I check the lock.
The chest itself is, you would guesstimate, would probably weigh 3 pounds, 20 if it's filled with coin. There's no lock but bars your way this evening. Luck seems to be with you. It's lockable, but it seems since old Lusk was sort of going over the books, he needed access to the money.
Time to take a peek.
Several small bags, each filled with silver. Now, in a heartbeat, passing your light fingers, determining the lock is unlocked, but not safe. Popping the lid, risking a trap. Some of the pouches are unstrung, the glittering coin. At a glance in a single round, you can determine, are they all filled with silver? You're not sure. And have you just sprung a trap? Well, we'll have to see next round. Our pooch, as I said before, biting down. The natural 20. Possible crit. What is your armor class, Garion?
16.
Not confirmed, but the little bugger seems to get much more of a leg up this time and sinks painfully its little gnawing teeth for 5 points of damage.
Damn!
Nico! Round's
Ace.
end. Round 5. What do you do?
Did that window that I'm standing in front of get broken through?
I'm sorry, I was speaking to Nico.
Did the window that I'm standing in front of, was it broken through?
Yes. Shards of glass still remain. Garion has yet to assess any wounds he took from passing through the window, but I'm sure the pain will catch up with him, surely.
Okay. That's a touch. That's...
Pinky out, Simri. We must remember our manners.
If
Excellent.
it helps, I don't believe Simri shut the door behind her.
Well, since the window is open, and I am standing right there, do I see the dog that is biting the Girion?
You see a desk. You see a dead dog, and you see Garion from the waist up on the other side of the desk, cursing said dog. You also see a man slain lying against the back wall. You see Simri hovering over a chest on a table near the door, also on the back wall.
2, 3, 4. You know what? Then I shall just walk through the front door.
All right. Sliding along, popping through the door.
Taking position beside Simri. Do I now see the other dog?
Yes.
Then calling on the dark powers of my forlorn
sorry.
master.
Exterior peeking into the interior perception check, I believe, is a move action, and now you've spent 2. So unless you can do this swiftly, I'm afraid, my little Damphir, you're done.
In one action?
Sorry?
Well, a swift action and a movement action. I should still have a full action, right?
A move to perceive, a move to move your feet, because you peered into a window, assessing an entire space.
I see. Then I am completed in my action roll.
Yes. Sorry. Old school rules and all, you know.
But I am
Round?
plotting for my next move.
Round 6. Professor Niles Cronin, if you please. Mr. Cronin, did you shut the door behind you? We can't hear you.
Yes, was the microphone not in the same room that I was? Yes. I suppose my compatriots have that one room taken care of.
I understand as a part of the gentry you are soft-spoken and speak with purpose. However, we can barely hear you. Professor, please, speak up.
It encourages the listener to listen. It's a technique.
Yes, but it's shit in post-edit, so lean in.
Well, for the post-edit...
Thank you. Huzzah.
Aha! There's no torches or any lighting devices inside this room.
One would guess that with the chemicals, an open flame is a bad idea. Perhaps one brings a lantern covered in and about. But at first glance, you find nothing.
Oh, very good. Then, I wish to move to the south door
Mm-hmm.
and then sneak my way through it.
All
and
right.
over to the containers to the south of the map.
Okay. A clay rim, 6 inches, 8 to 12 maximum, peeking above an in-ground pool of a pit. The stench to a mere mortal would be absolutely overwhelming, testing one's fortitude, if you catch my drift. Shall I have a crafting leather, a knowledge alchemy check from you, sir?
Certainly. Could I use my craft alchemy to identify this?
Mm-hmm.
Very well. 8.
If this is some sort of smuggling operation where they are skimming the top with the supposed tannery elements and hiding something valuable within, they're doing a good job. As far as you can tell, a bunch of shit and piss with a bunch of leather floating about. To some end, part of the process, obviously. Row upon row. 6 vats along the palisade, and you stand before 5 more, each about 10 feet by 10 feet. Wouldn't want to fall in there.
Thankfully for the high rim.
A sturdy glance within the opposite building and slipping to where you are and racking your brain. Anything else? I think you're done. You do hear
For
the
now.
sounds. You do hear the sounds of battle have sort of abated somewhat.
The sounds of the
office.
hounds of battle?
Yes, the hound and the battle have abated somewhat in the next office.
Garion does so enjoy his playtime.
Best not leave him unattended for too long. You remember what happened in Westground.
The stories and bards still sing.
Gary and the Butcher, what are you doing?
Well, this stupid dog's biting me. So I will attack one more time. Let me bring up Yonder Sheep. Actions. Rah! Bringing my sword up. I'll swing it, and the blade scratches a deep gouge in the ceiling, cleaving into the dog. Stupid dog. 12 points of damage.
You cleave the pooch in twain, as it were. Seems to be becoming your signature move. I hope you're more than just a one-trick pony, but I must admit victory is yours. Anything else?
I have a move. So I'm going to move over to this guy here. I forget his name. The owner of said dog,
Luskin?
Luskin, and
Mhm.
kick him. Your stupid dog bit me. And begin to maul the corpse.
Okay.
Garion's not what you would call a forward-thinking or insightful person, so...
Both dogs down. With a single round of those slipping into the office under cover, and finally the professor emerging, I believe our elderly couple have a new target and begin with line of sight. Well, first we're going to move. I believe one will bring the cart a little closer, just within the confines, and the female will adjacently follow, but as her standard action, launch another attack at 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 75 feet. Quite a bit.
They seem
Still. Testing range. 18. -2 for each increment of a thrown pot. I doubt it gets near you. However, it does manage to splash, not in the pit in front of you, but the one adjacent, 15 feet away. Nasty bit of stain that would be on your shoes and your trench coat, Professor.
I was
However-
sneaky.
Ah, yes. Slipping out the door. But since the pits are merely a foot tall, and we are,
Have night vision?
Ah, that's true.
They
Why?
are humans, are they not?
They are. Are they shooting blindly? Perhaps they're still firing, guessing where Nico might lie, going by the very edge of the light, and you are not the target at all. Either way, we're done. Nico.
Yes, very good. I'll inside surveying the scene and looking at the chest that Simri is focusing on. I will take up position beside her. Perhaps I can be of assistance.
Professor Niles. They do have a lantern on the cart, marking them as easy targets, and the lantern does spill about 15-20 feet radius. Still, not enough to, have them illuminate your position, but they can see. What do you do, Professor?
It's
Confident that you are still cloaked in the cover of the night, and that they were randomly, just testing range and firing blindly in sort of a spray pattern to see if they can't guess the caster's movements. Listening. Shoot right. Someone goes, there's shit on my shoes. They will move right.
I will compose myself.
Uh-huh.
And then we'll come around the pit and then walk towards them. What in the 9 hells do you two think you're doing?
Okay. Quietly, or are you going to use full movement?
Full movement. I am moving towards them.
All right.
And a very much thought and fate.
Okay. One move will place you about a third of the distance. Do you keep walking?
Yes.
Or is this a ruse?
I walk right up to them. This is an all at 10. You are shit gatherers, and you are throwing feces around the master chambers. Are you looking to be flayed?
2 moves, and swiftly surprising them with your speech, catching them, well, I wouldn't say off guard, but they're certainly processing what you're saying at the moment. Garion, the butcher.
Well, I'm not getting the kind of satisfactory cries of pain from this dead guy.
Sorry?
Said I'm not getting any kind of satisfactory cries of pain from this guy as I kick him, so I'll...
Well, Frank, you're a sick fuck. I want to know what Garion feels about the situation.
Looking around. Looking around. You! Nico, heal! And that's it. Just delay.
Okay. Simmery. Battle's over. Dogs are dead. You know they're outside. What do you do?
Well, Simri thought she was waiting to see if something happened, but if the chest is not going to do anything to her...
Nope.
Then she basically says, well, gentlemen, the plan was to get this out of here as quickly as possible, so I say let's go back and meet at the Ash House. And she lifts up the chest and gives a curt little nod and
All right.
continues to head out.
You head back to the way you came in, or you want to try and rush the front gate with our night chamber pot?
Oh, no. I think if I stealthily leave and take my time to try and squeeze through the hole in the fence, I should be able to get out just fine.
Okay.
And meet up with a possible compatriot.
All right. I'll take 1 stealth check because it costs you an action to scoop up the entire chest, which does weigh 20 pounds.
Oui, oui.
The bad guys. They seem confused. Not enough to do nothing, but I will say they delay their action till the end of the round, which brings us to Nico.
By the way, a 19 scoop.
Okay. Nico.
No time for healing, Garion. This way, follow the lady. And I'll head out the door. Not even trying to be stealthily, I'll just follow behind her.
Watch my back, boys.
All right. They look at you, Professor. They heard what you said. They look at each other. They shrug, confirming that, no, I don't know him either. And both grab a pot and launch at you. One is 15 feet. One is about 20. Let fly. What is your armor class, sir?
15.
The chamber pots explode around you, and with such force that, like a slushy sort of fanning out along the ground, they don't spill in your direction, luckily. They are well off their mark. But 2 flings, and they are getting closer. Professor, it's your turn. What do you do?
It is hard to find intelligent help nowadays, isn't it?
Hmm.
Oh well. And yeah, that's the scenario then.
You tried.
I did.
No one can say you weren't trying to be civil.
No, and when civilities are wasted on commoner folk such as these. So, sorry, I barely do this, but I will take a standard action. And
Yes.
I will. Is drawing a weapon a standard action?
You can move as long as you have a base attack of 1 while drawing an action. Otherwise, it is considered a move action, not a standard action. So you could draw a weapon as a move action, stand still, and fire, or wield it, as it were.
Unfortunately, my base attack bonus is not as such. I woke up this morning and realized my base attack bonuses run out. So, I, in that case, will move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, move over here, and then pull out the dagger. And as a free action, tell them, you're lucky that didn't hit me. For that, I will be merciful.
Garion.
So I'll choose to go now. Can you resend the map? I got kicked out of Fantasy Grounds. And I will follow Ryan. Or
No.
follow Nico.
Okay.
Fine. Reach down and pick up the crossbow as I go. Mine!
Okay.
Move this-
Standing over the body that you were playing with, an easy
Yep.
scoop the crossbow, stand action, and head on out.
Yep.
Yep. Places you outside, no problem. Simri. 19. Continuing along. Alright. I need a stealth check every 15 feet.
Okey-dokey.
But isn't lost on you that the 2 men behind you are doing anything but being stealthy. However, if you're not seen, no one can say you were there. So it's not a total waste.
If you gentlemen could be so kind as to maybe be a little quieter, but I understand you need to do what you need to do. You know where we're meeting, so bye. Maybe.
What?
13? Does Garion not remember where we're meeting? $10? Okay, so the stealth went from wonderful to maybe not so much. And 15.
Okay. Your second move, we need the dreaded escape artist, or straight up dex check, if you please.
The can my ass fit through this hole in the fence check.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a 1 + 3 = 4.
No. Wedged again, holding the chest out behind you.
Garion,
Nico.
help, please.
Nico, you're up. Nikolai. There's no time for napping.
Noticing the good professor is not with us,
Mm.
I shall stop and go back to see if he needs my assistance.
All right.
So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, okay. Moving
I can't say the conversation or the shit slingers are being quiet, so it's pretty easy to assess, something's going on at the gate.
All right.
How long
So-
does your cloud last?
It doesn't give a specific time for how it lasts. It just says that it gets
Right, I think we ruled on this last time. It was your level is your caster level. So anyway, several rounds have gone by. I'm pretty sure it would have dissipated.
probably
by-
faded, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it has. It just it only says it can be dissipated with a strong wind or fireball, flame strike, or similar spell. but I'd imagine it doesn't last forever.
All right. Well, we'll just tuck it over here. You never know when you're going to need it again.
Very true, very true.
So, moving. Did you need to move that far? Because the cloud is obviously already dissipated?
Oh no, if the cloud wasn't there, I would have gone in a more straight line.
All right.
So I would be, yeah. Probably be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I'd probably be right about here instead. Probably about center of my, where the cloud was, ish.
Okay.
And I will actually take a second action to move a little bit closer as well.
All right. Backing your man, as it were.
Exactly. And then as I approach, I'll just kind of say something along the lines of, I believe our time here has grown very stale. We should make our way out.
The elderly couple. The woman steps back around the cart and lets fly at the professor. The man, seeing you
Attack of
approach...
opportunity!
That's right. The man lets fly at Nico, but starting with our eager beaver, Professor.
Yes, I do so hate using such crude weapons as these.
Unfortunately, the cart caused me to move more than 5 feet, so she can't use a 5-foot step. Hence provoking.
Well, we'll start with... This should be a good analog. Does 11 hit?
Actually, yes. They don't build commoners like they used to anymore.
Excellent. So it'll be 1d4 plus 2 points, 6 points of damage.
Okay. A nasty gash on her firing arm opens up, and as she goes to lift her pot, instantly drops it, realizing the blood that begins to flow, shrieking in pain and almost fainting against the cart, but does nothing else but that move and that reaction. The old man changes targets, picks up, gets ready to fire at Nico, sees you stab his lady as you back off and she faints, and he turns and flings at you instead. Anticipating this, a simple leaning forward, and the clay pot sails harmlessly, just brushing the back of your shoulders, but a clean miss. Professor, it is actually your go now.
I will step forward. The woman is passed out.
Sorry?
The woman is fainted.
Wobbling on her feet. She certainly does seem distracted. Definitely, I would say, at least flat-footed. Not helpless, but...
Well, if that's the case, I'll look at him saying, "You'll regret that. Only for a short time." And then I stab her. Sorry, stab at her. 11 again.
Yes.
Dealing 5 points of damage.
Okay. Flashing your blade and driving it home. Leaning against the cart, looking at her arm. She doesn't even have time to look down at this new pain, just looking at you, and she slumps to the ground.
As I look at him, you caused this.
Garion. There's butchering going on and you're missing it. No, not Teguan. What do you do?
Let's see. So is it... Oh, I can't ping. Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40.
Mm-hmm.
That's one move.
You have a 40-foot stride, do you, sir?
I do.
I'm regretting letting you play a half-giant more and more with each passing moment.
Oh, that's barbarian, buddy.
Ah, right.
Let's see. So which one is the dude? The one in the front or the one in the back?
The one in the front.
All right. So just basically move up to threaten him, but he's going to get the chop next turn.
Mm-hmm. Simmery.
Yes.
Well, they're keeping the night crew busy. Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Yeah. Do the wiggle dance. Okay. Whoop. 12. Wiggle.
Well, you're holding the chest, and it's awfully heavy.
I requested help from Garion, but nothing came of it.
You can get through if you drop the chest.
Garion thinks that's a terrible idea.
Simri agrees with Garion. What if I place the chest behind me, scoot through, and pull the chest through the hole? Is it big enough to fit?
Yeah, it's like I said, you barely made the DC, but you're carrying this bloody great chest on an angle, and because you were
so
stuck.
I scoot through and then pull the chest along with me.
Yeah, well, just saying that you have to put it down,
Yes.
scoot through, and you could reach through right there. That's fine.
Okay.
But you do have to sort of drop it. So.
She gently puts it down.
Okay. Pull the chest through.
Mm-hmm.
With another
I need a dexterous chest.
dex or strength, your choice. Okay. it fits, but it just kind of gets a little wedged in there. Nico.
Nico has had enough of these primates throwing their feces. He shall inflict pain upon the old man.
All right.
So,
Although Garion has stepped in front of you, you still, because of the angle, have a clear shot.
Cast inflict pain. It's not
So let's
an
talk
attack.
about your oracle nature, Nico, and how, how you came about these powers, how this works.
It is a very sad tale involving a mishap with a small, uncontrolled fire. Believing myself to be invincible from the flames, I was very much not. I caused severe burns across the entire upper half of my body. Saved only by the countenance of some other worldly being, I have dedicated my life to fulfilling its wishes.
Interesting. This was the moment you realized you had power beyond.
Indeed, I was called.
We'll have to discuss this at length later. How about the dynamic of the attack?
The dynamic of the attack is this. He must make a saving throw of DC 15 Fortitude.
All right.
If he succeeds, he takes half the damage. If he does not succeed, he
He
takes
does
a
not.
-1 penalty to attack rolls, skill checks, and ability checks for 1 minute, as well as receiving 2d6 + 1 non-lethal damage.
Oh, well, may I have not such non-lethal damage rolled, please?
Yeah. This must be easier way to do this, but for a total of 10 points of damage. Non-lethal.
My arthritis! My asthma! My chronic pain! He passes out from the non-lethal damage. Well done, Nico. All combatants are down and out. I wouldn't say they're finished, but None stand against you. Professor.
Nico, what did... I reached down and I checked this man's pulse. Nico, what did you do? Was that something you did? Or was it just this man's time?
Indeed, it is my work. Notice him writhe.
He's not dead, though.
Not yet.
Well, I will leave this to you. Garion, could you do me a favor and grab the old woman?
Garion looks at the great sword in one hand, the crossbow in the other. All right.
Thank you. I will hold your crossbow for you temporarily, if you wish.
Gives you the stink eye.
I won't return it. It is useless in my hands.
Garion's, reach back and on his turn, do some things.
All right. With the battle ended, gentlemen, do you take the young rogue's advice, assuming she's already fled to the ash house, and exit via the gate? Perhaps even using the dung herder's own cart to hoard the bodies. What is our next move? As obviously, we've won the day.
Burn this place to the ground.
Coup de grace, the dude I inflicted pain upon.
Search bodies. Find gold.
You'll
Drink.
find...
There's no gold upon the bodies, as...
Wait. I hide a gold coin on one of the bodies.
What?
just to make him happy.
Yes.
Planting evidence.
It's for Garion to find.
Professor, I sense now is a good time to possibly catch upon the shared past that you have with Garion. You seem to look after him. Is there something in your, shall we say, campaign traits or backstory that you could at least give us a little taste of at this moment? Why you are so fond of the man?
I'm just making sure that any mistakes of the past of mine are properly taken responsibility for.
Really? Would you say this man is a mistake of yours?
Not mine, but mayhaps of a student.
Ah, a fellow that attended the university.
I don't think we're intimate enough to share the story.
Of course. Another time. So, where were we? Garion, you find a gold piece on the woman.
Aha! Garion is very happy. Holds the gold coin up to show everyone. Always two bodies.
Simri, meanwhile, back at the fence. Strength or guile? Not a lot of stealth involved as the palisade begins rattling, trying to get this chest through. Another roll.
At this point, would brute strength be better? No, it would not. So, let's try again.
Garion disagrees.
20!
Turning it over, realizing its height is actually less than its width. Only by a fraction of an inch, but just enough for you to slip free. And then into the night?
Swiftly.
Simri Stalish disappears. But if you gentlemen are to be paid, hopefully she will keep her word, take the money to her employer and your meeting place, the Ash House. Gentlemen, I'm almost afraid to ask, what do you do now? You were picking up bodies and searching them, and burning the place to the ground?
Yes, the reason to pick up the bodies was to put them all in one building. Not on top of each other, but in the same building. And then blazing this property to the ground.
I see where you're going there with this. Destroy the evidence. Nothing can come back to bite us in the backsides.
Yeah, ever astute, Nico.
Garion thinks that Might actually be a terrible idea. Building is good. Wall's good. Garion, keep this place.
But Garion, what if we were to burn it down and perhaps come back later to see if there's any gold underneath the building?
Garion picks up the bodies. Bring fire.
Ever as astute, Garion.
And he begins to march the two bodies over to where the guy with the dogs are. Damn dogs.
So we're burning the bodies as well as the compound.
Of course.
All right. Very well.
This is going to end poorly.
The scene pulls up into the night. Time passes, and a good 20 minutes to half an hour later, Simri finds herself at the original point where she had pointed out the dot on the dusky horizon, which was the tannery. Now, Simri, glancing back, wondering how long those fools dawdled, the answer becomes clear. A soft, enchanting glow begins to warm the horizon in the middle of the night, and you realize that they've set the place ablaze.
Fools.
Simri, you return to the Ash house and await the arrival of your compatriots. Now, or I should say by now, gentlemen, you've hit the mark at the edge of town. Taking a peek at the lovely little villa, I guess, well, village. I don't know what to call it besides my own.
Well, firstly, on our way back to town, we would stop at the crest of a hill with the best view and admire our handiwork from the distance.
A warm glow lights up the night, with just enough distance around the scrub brush and trees that you don't even know if the surrounding area will catch fire or not. But I guess half the fun is in the surprise, wouldn't you say?
One could only hope. He's standing on the top of the hill, puts his arm around Professor Niles' shoulders. We do really good work together, you know. I see this as beginning of burgeoning friendship.
Yes, I agree with you. As I take his arm off my shoulder.
A little while later, we find ourselves at what has come to be known the Ash House, an abandoned noble's mansion left over from the war some 60 years ago. Our young Simri Stalish has been squatting at this home and has taken upon herself to make it her official hideout, risking much with these strangers, bringing them here, but Reslargo has agreed to meet you here. We come down upon the scene still late in the evening before the wee hours of dawn, and not only have you barely crested the front walkway, a eager Simri, shall we say, peeking out a window, pops out and waves you guys quickly inside before anyone sees you. Without much chance to look around, to your right, collapsed rubble, a stairway in front, and a peek at not an uninviting parlor to your left, a few chairs, a chest, and a small fire happily dancing in what's left of a fireplace. She rushes you immediately upstairs, and as you pan your map to the right, what is revealed now is my great pleasure in depicting my recent abode. Pieces of battered furniture lie here amongst the choking scent of dust and ash. Beneath a mantel covered with empty whiskey bottles, the fireplace you passed showed signs of evidence of recent use, and once again a impromptu fire dances gleefully in its worn, torn walls. The scratched, broken visages of curious cherubs leer from atop archways leading deeper into the house, as if nature has had some sort of a lopsided attempt to reclaim this ancient home. Now, at the top of a stairwell, again debris chokes most rooms. She takes you to your left and through into a small office, rectangular in shape. Toppled bookshelves, a table, and some chairs half covered in ivy suggest this room was once a library. The ashes and pulp of burned, waterlogged books lay heaped amid fallen furniture, creating a nest of sorts against one wall. A set of folding paper screens divides this room, and a lantern on the opposite side projecting my silhouette of a desk and a high-backed chair upon the thin paper, and your first glance at me. You hear a man clear his throat. Simri. Then it becomes immediately evident, gentlemen, that you are not alone in this room. In the nest of bookshelves and whatnot, a four-legged creature sort of rears its head. It seems calm, not poised to attack, but it is regarding you eagerly, as if awaiting some order to do so. A large feline with a large mane running down its back, and its face looking as though it had peeled away from its flesh, though I assure you this creature is very much alive and regarding you. Pausing for effect, noting, though you're not sure if the man can see you through the paper screens, that you see his pet. Reslargo speaks. Simri, introductions, if you please.
But of course. We have the wondrous Garion, the butcher, our strongest fellow. Nico, our very skilled nighttime eccentric. And the professor, who, let's just say, likes to take care of business in his own way. All three very, very helpful this evening.
Is it done?
It is.
Excellent. He snaps his finger, and emerging from behind one of the panels that is not lit, you see a tall, at least 6 foot, rippling muscle, dark, orangish red skin, full horns, hooves, a tiefling, a man that is far more than a man, with demonic heritage, clutching a very large black iron-bound book, which is chained to his arm. Mr. Joe Gibson.
Hello.
Have I missed anything? Would you describe and name your character, please?
No, you pretty much hit it on the ball. But here, I will drop it in for the players while I'm describing it into the chat, so it makes life a lot easier for everyone. But yes, he is a large creature. Oh, Ryan, that didn't work. Goes by the name of Tithe Netherall.
And sorry, this is my compatriot. You may call him Tithe, Mr. Netherall. Might I ask you? how's the politest word that we can both come to an agreement upon this? Reserve your judgment on Simmery's compatriots and assess them later.
Shall do.
The man who seems eager to, 2 fingers and claws, black claws, tapping the book eagerly as if he either wants to do something with it, recall something within it, or literally throw it at you, agrees, acquiesces, and steps back, letting you gentlemen have the floor. Reslargo immediately turns to the rest of you, still behind the screen. Excellent, he turns to you. You've all done well. Simmery and your associates sound like individuals of rare potential. You'll all find your payment waiting in the parlor below, along with a gift for each of you. Now go, enjoy, celebrate. You deserve a reward for your impressive work and the spectacle that you've provided outside of town. He emphasizes the words outside of town. We'll talk more in the near future.
Thank you.
Simmery is quick to usher you guys out of the office that you have been dismissed.
What?
You feel 2 small hands push your back out the door.
Yeah.
But gentlemen, down in the parlor, and a long table that doubles like a chest cabinet, we leave Reslargo, his large horned compatriot, and his pet to their own private discussion. We'll get to that in a moment. But what you find downstairs does not disappoint. 200 pieces of gold each.
Oh,
Mine.
And an assortment of weapons, all of masterwork quality, immediately identifiable as from some of the finest smiths that Cheliax has to offer. So it would seem that Simmery or Lazargo or someone has done a little homework, because whether they took educated guesses or learned something about you as Simmery put you guys together, the masterwork weapons do seem to each have a purpose. Simmery, a masterwork kukuri dagger, lies in the chest. Nico, a brilliantly decorated masterwork spear, lies next to the chest. Garion, a Shawanti masterwork earthbreaker. It's a hammer that has nibbed faced edges like a giant meat tenderizer, lays beside the chest. And even you, Professor, a interesting device, a polished ivory handle with a hidden blade that will spring forth when you hit a certain nib at the bottom. A masterwork switchblade lies within the chest, along with our 200 gold pieces each payment and a few bottles of fine Cheliax whiskey.
Grabbing 2 bottles, Simmery turns to Nico and says, Nico, you asked me what benefit there was to working for Reslargo. Does this answer your question?
Still admiring the spear, he turns to regard Simri. Setting the spear down, he grabs one of the bottles. An excellent vintage. We should enjoy this right now. And he pops the cork off.
Popping the cork.
Smells it. Do you perhaps have some goblets we can enjoy this with? Pour around for us all.
Wooden cups, but still, beggars can't be choosers. I mean, we're just surrounded with money, gold, weapons, and what? No plastic cups, I'm out, right?
Hey,
So-
some people say squatters, others say liberators of forgotten ruins.
I pour a nice full cup for all of us except for Garion, and I just hand the remainder of the bottle to Garion.
There we go.
Nice.
Meanwhile, the scene drifts back upstairs, where Reslargo's pet Krenshar, Keurig, paces about the room. This does not faze you in the least, Tithe. You know this creature has intelligence and some sort of arrangement with your new compatriot. So, assessing the newcomers, obviously, is not the only reason I've called you here, old friend. There is a concern. The Great Reclamation has apparently reached us here, even in Longacre. The sermon tomorrow should prove an interesting spectacle. I plan for the newcomers to sort of make Archbaron Fex's dominance in our little villa known to them. But I wonder, can I trust you to restrain yourself if I send you along with them?
I think maybe I should be able to more or less be normal.
Reslargo snickers behind a screen as the large man, orange-reddish skin tinged, eyes blazing, tilts his head down, acknowledging his horns as opposed to a hat. Indeed. And is there anything you've sensed or our patron has told you about the newcomers that we should worry about? Any concerns? Teeth, the fact that Reslargo is referring to your god as a patron, you're not sure if that's a compliment or some sort of an insult, because you know what this creature is.
Yeah, no.
I love how you looked up as opposed to looking down. Nope, nothing on the Asmodean radar. No, they're clean,
Yeah.
No hidden paladins amongst them, eh?
Nothing that I could sense.
That is enough for me. So, if you feel like you should join them, then, well, I believe, as I said before, it should prove quite an interesting spectacle.
And for this compensation, perhaps.
Well, since you were late coming to the party, I shall include you in equal share with the others, plus any personal assurances I need to ask you remotely. I shall double compensate you. Is that fair?
Fair enough. Would you
Then
like
we
to sign for that? I say, open up the book. Right here.
I think not.
Fair enough.
These are troubling times when one can't take one its own word. Wouldn't you agree? Not everything has to be contracted. Well, at least not until the end. Say goodnight, Tithe.
Good night.